I've just got time to wish you, from all the staff on duty tonight at Central, a wonderful Christmas. Now, it's Jimmy's.
St. James's Hospital in Leeds celebrates Christmas, we'd like to take you back to meet some of the staff and patients who've appeared in our programmes since we began in the spring of 1987. The Regional Child Development Centre is enjoying Christmas in its new home in the Children's Day Hospital, built with money generously donated by the Variety Club. 4-year-old Kate Evely and 18-months-old Christopher Booth both suffer from cerebral palsy. Kate has been coming to the centre for nearly 3 years. Christopher, who was born prematurely at the hospital, was referred when he was 5 months old.
Sit on Santa's knee. Hello. Don't you like Santa?
Can I introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Booth, daughter, as soon as this is Mr. and Mrs. Booth.
How do you do?
And baby Christopher.
How do you do? Right. What I would like to do first is hear from you what you understand about the baby's condition.
The condition is known as cerebral palsy. There's been nerve damage in a certain part of the brain.
Yes.
And that may cause potential loss of power in the limbs,
yes,
particularly the lower limbs.
Yes.
That's what we understand.
Right. What about his head control?
He's got his head control. I mean, if I see his bath, he likes to lie on his tummy and put his head up. We were told he had cerebral palsy. We thought that he might never even feed himself or sit or do anything. I mean, you don't know how severe the handicap's going to be, and we don't know now really how severe it's going to be. But we do know that he's got a good memory and he can learn things, which is obviously something which will help him to pick up things. Because he's so determined, he's extremely stubborn. He'll actually learn to walk as well.
Come on then, over you go. There. That's a good boy. Clever boy. That's super, hasn't it? Come on, this is great. Oh, aren't you a clever little boy? Let's have European. This is fabulous.
I mean, when you first have a baby, everybody says, "Oh, congratulations." But nobody knew what to say when they knew he was handicapped. So it was always a matter of, oh, do we say sorry or congratulations? And you need somebody to be able to help you through that sort of stage to begin with. And obviously, Christopher was at the Child Development Centre right from the start. And they always sort of made me feel he was special and that he was capable. Gave me a lot of confidence.
Even at their Christmas party, the older children are playing a learning game.
Kate's group is a dressing group that comes in during the holidays for dressing practice. So we decided that we would dress up and so would the children to make it more entertaining for them. I sit up. Good girl. Right up, Kate. Sit up straight. Good girl. Come on, up. That's lovely. Good girl. That's smashing. Very good. Going to stand up now? Up. Up. That's it. Let's go and find Christopher now. Good girl. Now, keep your hand on. We really did not expect Kate to ever walk, either with a walker or independently. Whereas now, especially during the last 6 months with her tremendous determination and motivation, she is now walking with her walker, and also we can see her possibly in the very near future walking on her own. She's certainly now standing alone.
Kate? Where's Kate? Ah. Oh, it's hard work, isn't it?
Hello, Kate. And how are you?
All right.
Good.
I've got a picture for you.
Have you got a picture for me? Oh, that's very kind of you. That's absolutely fabulous. I shall pin this to my sledge. And I've got a little present here for you. There you... Thank you very much.
Do you want me to hold you?
Despite her physical handicap, Kate's brighter than many children of her age. And by September last year, she was able to start going to her local nursery school.
Do you want to, Catherine? Would you like to do this one up for me? Excuse us, please. Can you see?
It's gonna melt.
Well, she still goes to school every morning. She still really loves it. After Easter, she's going up into the main school. We had a meeting just before the summer holidays with Mary and the psychologist and the head and everybody from school, and they've all been really good. And she's now, partly as a result of how she's fitted in the nursery so well, she's going to go to the same school but full time and carry on in mainstream education.
Christopher has a long way to go, but with the help of the staff at the centre, he'll be an achiever like Kate.
He's Christopher, and he's got what every baby has. He's got his own personality and his own things to offer to people.
It's hard work, but at the same time, you do see results. And I think it's the partnership working with the parents that's so important.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. Hooray!
In Falkirk, 42-year-old Catherine BENNIE is delighted to be able to do her Christmas shopping with her daughter and granddaughter. 15 months ago, she was facing death as her liver began to fail rapidly after years of debilitating illness. Her only hope was a liver transplant.
Well, Catherine had a cirrhosis of the liver, which is the term we use when the liver gets scarred. And in her case, the cause of the scarring was due to what's called primary biliary cirrhosis, which is an autoimmune disorder, probably, in which she damages her own liver because of the immune process going out of control. It's predominantly a condition in women. We know by the slow deterioration in this condition when there's the right point to advise liver transplant.
He grinds, nose.
Catherine spent 12 days in the liver unit, waiting desperately for a suitable donor liver that would save her life.
When Professor Giles took me in the office and says that there was a liver and I would be going to theatre in the morning, would I accept it? Would I go? And I obviously immediately say yes, but this thought goes through your mind, saying, oh dear, I could be dead tomorrow. And you think, don't be silly, you're going to die anyway, you have to go for it. But it's only, you know, fine, it's the only chance you've got, so you have to take it.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, surgeons from Professor Giles's team returned with the new liver, and the preparation for Catherine's operation began.
Most of us like to get the liver settled into a new person within 8 or 10 hours of the donation taking place. So there isn't really time to search around the country for the right match. The true matching occurs in terms of size. We have to get the right size of liver for the right recipient.
Before the 6-hour transplant could start, there were 3 hours of hard work for the anaesthetist.
Where are the temperature probes? Basically, the blood supply from the top half and the bottom half of the body are disconnected. And in order for the patient to be kept alive, then the anaesthetist has to manipulate the blood volumes, has to use rapid infusers to get large volumes of fluid back into them, has to help with the bypass, which Catherine had when she had her operation, and in those ways, keeping the whole body alive, even though the top half and bottom half are disconnected, so to speak. When a liver becomes cirrhotic, the scarring produces an obstruction to the flow of blood through the liver, and the back pressure from that produces what are simply varicose veins within the abdomen. So you're operating on someone who has literally millions of veins which have to be cut across. So that when you're removing the old liver, then the blood loss again is considerable until you can get control of it. and until you can get the pressure down by putting the new liver in.
Just about to start putting it in.
Yes. Yes, please.
People that are coming to liver failure, of course, are very ill. And the one obvious thing that is different is that the liver, which normally makes coagulation factors, clotting factors of the blood in the bloodstream, is no longer making them. And so you're operating on someone who can't clot their own blood. So the blood loss is always much greater than in any other form of surgery.
You all right? I felt as though there was a lot of relief there. I was happy. We'd waited for a long time, a lot of heartache in between. OK, that wasn't it over. That was just the start of more problems, but I thought that was the beginning of it was really a new start.
If we take that off your face, we'll perhaps be able to listen to you.
Yes.
After the operation, there were many anxious days on the liver unit, as Catherine's body threatened to reject its new liver.
Many patients do reject their livers, and in order to stop the rejection, then they need the very special drugs which most people have heard about nowadays, which stop the rejection process, but in so doing, of course, reduce their ability to resist infection of any type. So it's a lucky patient that comes through without any complication at all.
It'll be great to be able to go out, really, and be able to live a sort of normal life.
Yeah.
I know maybe I'll not be able to have a completely 100% life like I had before. You have this period of high, you're really high about your operation after, then all of a sudden within a week you come down to earth, and all these tears and depression and, you know, just all these emotions, and they're so kind and caring with you. It's smashing, they're great.
I think you'll find you've more energy than before your transplant.
Oh yes, I feel actually now I have even more energy. I feel better than what I've felt for about 2 years.
But you have had a liver transplant, but you will always be a liver patient.
Yes.
For the rest of your life, just as you were before your transplant.
Yes. The first time I ironed a shirt, it was great. You know, you thought, this is great. You thought, it's ridiculous to iron the shirts, and you think it's, but it was lovely to be able to do things yourself. Just ordinary everyday things that you hadn't done for so long, and things you never really wanted to do, but it was lovely to be able to do things again.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yes.
Gave me a break. We weren't expecting miracles, but I suppose you could say it has been a miracle. No, it's been good to see her getting stronger every day.
It's lovely just to be here for a second Christmas. I wouldn't have had.
15-year-old Jamie McGrath has been a regular patient since an accident in a laundrette when his hand was severed. It was 7 o'clock in the evening when consultant microsurgeon Simon Kay rushed back to hospital after receiving an emergency call from casualty.
His father's here.
Right. We need the orthopaedic SR because he's going to have to plate this. I think at this age we really ought to go for putting it back, even though it's avulsed. But obviously we'll decide that as we go along. Right, you go to the theatre, I'll meet you there in 5 minutes, okay?
I went over to the laundrette. I just saw his arm off, like, you know. And then I asked if he had his arm, and they said no. So I went over to the dryer and got his arm out. And I gave it to a policeman who unravelled it, you know, and he put it in an ice pack because he got some ice from a club next to the laundrette. And then he got on the ambulance and took him to hospital. Pretty upset at the time, like, you know, crying and that sort of stuff, like, you know.
And wool, I still think we should go for it. Vessels and nerves are reasonable at the moment. Depends what we find on the stuff. Got a lot of bruising high up. He's got long vein grafts, isn't he?
Jamie's hand presented a tremendous challenge to replant because of the wrenching nature of the injury. But I would always be prepared to try reattaching the amputated part in a child because children's healing is very resilient.
That's in more or less full, so you can open, and there's a reasonable range of pronation.
Right, super.
And I think that's reasonably solid.
Right, Lizzie, can I take you? Okay, John, that's a brilliant job. You've done brilliantly. Can I give you a shout if we need you? I don't think we will.
I think we need some big lines up and ready to run as soon as they take the pressure back on.
You couldn't hardly see my face because I was all wrapped up in the silver stuff, so it just seemed like somebody else, really. So I just watched it like it wasn't you.
Is that warm?
You don't hold it.
It's scarcely warm. I shouldn't be able to hold it.
You don't hold it.
Yeah? Look, we're losing this. Can we get on? After forceps. Go and boil a kettle, okay? I want boiling water so that we can have hot stuff. If you can hold it, it's not hot. It's coming and going a lot, this hand. Very worrying, man.
I think amputated parts are always very emotionally traumatic, and particularly in young children. And one is bound, therefore, to feel a certain urgency, and one desperately wants it to work.
As morning arrived, the night's tension gave way to numbing tiredness.
I've slipped into ultra calm mode, which is one step down from stupor. Let's go to the back. Oh, should be finished just in time to go to work.
At the end of Jamie's replantation, I was exhausted. And all you're really thinking then is, thank God it's worked. There's a lot of rehabilitation, there's a lot of secondary reconstructive work. And that's the first thought. The next is, there's a long day ahead, because if you've been up all night, your patients the following day don't just go away, you have responsibilities to them too.
Do you know why you're coming into hospital?
Yeah,
this time?
Coming in for muscle grafts from there to my hand.
Right. So do you have much sort of function in it then now?
Just that now.
That's good. It's better than nothing, isn't it?
Jamie is a very remarkable boy. He doesn't like having surgery, but when he sees a potential payoff that's going to affect him for the rest of his life in terms of improved function, he'll go for it, I'm sure.
There's a couple of times when I'm out with my friends and that, I thought if it don't get better, there's no point keeping it or something like that. So, I think it will get better. Mr. K says it will, so he's pretty sure, so I think it will.
When we first met Ian FITZSIMMONS, he was a fourth-year medical student. Now qualified, Ian's a senior house officer in the premature baby unit. We originally filmed him as he trained on the labour ward.
Now, Susan, this is Ian, medical student. And he's going to be working with me today, so I'll just be talking him through. Ian has seen 3 babies being born already, but they have to witness 5 before they can get to deliver themselves. And it's just really teaching them how to look after somebody in normal labour.
The primary reason I agreed to do it, or the thing that really swayed me, was that if I hadn't have done, my mother would have killed me, most certainly. So I think, it's her fault. She gets the blame.
And again, Susan, we're all pushing with you. For all the good it does. This is a boy. Well done, Susan. That took some pushing out.
Can you say that again? It's a good job, is it? Save the last one. You can't be able to swallow another.
Seems fine. We'll have to keep an eye on his breathing there, because the chance of getting helium down below his cords, into his lungs.
At the end of his time in the department came the day of the exam results.
One of the consultants would come out and read a list of names. If you weren't on that list, you'd passed. So everyone who wasn't on that list got up laughing and joking. Whereas if you were on that list, it meant that you had to have a reviver.
The list I'm going to read out is the list of students for re-examination for borderline or distinction vivas, okay? Abdul Jalil, Birdsall, Brain, Cooper, Davy Quinn, Derbyshire, Edwards, and FITZSIMMONS. Okay. If those people could maybe just wait here for a few seconds, then we'll get you organised. Everybody else can go. Thank you very much.
Will you go down?
No, I wasn't.
Hey? The main thing that went through my mind was, oh no, I failed. And then in my next thought it was, oh no, I failed. And they filmed it as well. how embarrassing, you know, how am I ever going to live this down?
Oh, God.
Right, well, it's FITZSIMMONS time for the examination.
What none of us, including Ian, knew at the time was that he was being re-examined for a distinction and not because he'd failed. Ian will now spend 2 more months in the neonatal unit before moving on to one of the children's wards.
It's the paediatric side that is the most enjoyable. There's a happy atmosphere, even with sick children on. Plus, I'm a kid at heart anyway, and it's lovely to sort of play with them when you've got a spare minute, which you can't do on a lot of other wards, and get paid for it as well.
Since
his kidneys failed 5 years ago, the dialysis unit has become home from home for 12-year-old Maroof Farouk.
I think she was just worried.
But for 6-year-old Gemma Pickett from Grimsby, facing her first day on dialysis, it was a bewildering experience.
We'll be checking her blood pressure quite regularly because by moving blood from somebody's body and putting it around an artificial circuit, it can drop the blood pressure.
At first, she wasn't too bad. But, you know, all the staff there were really good. I mean, there's a teacher there, getting to do things, and televisions. But towards the end, she started to be ill with the blood pressure. And she wasn't too happy at all. It's quite worrying with the blood pressure.
See that? I'm brave as a butcher's dog, do you know that? Guess what? I can just have it for my breakfast today.
What?
A pizza and some mushy peas and some mashed potato. All done and dusted. It's all right now.
He usually is quite bright and jolly most of the time, but he does have the downside, really. And that's usually when he's with symptoms really associated with dialysis.
Gemma no longer has to face the 3 times a week trip to Leeds for dialysis. 5 months ago, she had a transplant when a precious, well-matched kidney was donated.
There was a school trip, actually, and it was that particular day when we got back from the school trip that we got this phone call, 9:20 at night. There was a kidney for her.
Like Christmas and birthday all in one.
And she did so well. She was out of the transplant ward in 2 weeks.
She's very thin because she couldn't eat hardly anything because of the diet she was on. And now with the steroids, of course, they've blown her up, so she looks sort of as if she's put on a lot of weight, which she has, but it's not basically a diet, it's because of the steroids.
But hopefully when they cut those down, that should go down.
Yeah, that'll go down as well.
But she's got so much energy. She's just back, she's just a different little girl.
For Maroof and others like him, the long wait for a donor kidney continues. Ordinary life must fit round dialysis, and now Maroof comes to the unit in the evenings so he doesn't miss too much school.
I've got a lot of homework when I get home. I've got to do English homework for the deputy head.
Is it difficult to get everything done with coming here as well?
And I've got I can't say anything. I've just got to do it. And plus I've got my maths homework to do as well. And they're both hard.
This Christmas, Gemma received her school's Stephen Beecham Memorial Trophy, awarded to the child who's shown bravery and determination over the year.
Yeah, well done. You're right.
Well, I'm looking forward to Christmas, because last Christmas she was in hospital on Christmas Day with an infection in the tube that was fitted to her. So I'm really looking forward to Christmas. And after that, I'm just looking forward to just a normal little girl, having a normal little girl again.
Back and wave your arms as well. Okay, right, after 3 then. 1, 2, 3.
Jimmy's returns to Central next Tuesday at 7:30.
Coronation Street, a Christmas Day stocking filler at 7:30 on Central. There could be a few surprises in store.
The Fields are intent on getting the fickle French into that festive feeling. Comedy next on Central in French Fields.
Boxing Day is double discount day at DFS. In our biggest ever sale, there's at least a double sale discount on all surplus stock. One-off bargains like these leather chairs, previously $539, on Boxing Day only £129. Double discount means these Traylon recliners only $98. This beautiful Carrera settee $150. This leather sofa just $195. And the first 50 customers get an extra £100 off any three-piece suite. That's double discount day at DFS. Darlydale, Neasham, Droitwich, Grantham, Northampton, Shrewsbury, Cannock, Fenton and Banbury.
On the subject of colour, I'm with Henry Ford. Okay?
Give her the $25 smile.
They're partners in crime who know a good scam when they pull one.
You killed my daddy!
Now they're going from the poorhouse to the penthouse. From director John Hughes, creator of Home Alone, comes Curly Sue at a cinema near you from December 26.
Yeah, did you know Hoover will give you your money back on this dishwasher within 100 days? No questions asked. Even if you decide you just don't like it.
Yeah, and I'm the Queen of Sheba.
If you suffer from blocked sinuses, this is where it hurts. Pressure builds up here, you get headache and pain here. This is where Sinutab comes in. Sinutab clears the congestion here, relieves pain quickly here. Sinutab relieves sinus pain and headache fast.
The new Braun Oral-B plaque remover is a major innovation in brushing technology. It helps remove plaque effectively every time you brush. Its unique oscillating brushing action cleans thoroughly, deep between each tooth and along the gum line, leaving teeth so clean you can feel it. The new plaque remover from Braun and Oral-B.
Why won't my powder get this chip grease completely out at 40 degrees?
Because it's fat.
And butter? At 40 degrees, my powder won't always shift it. How come?
Because it's fat, and ordinary compacts don't stand a chance at 40 degrees.
And now?
Now there's new Ariel Ultra with fat digester. It's a remarkable new ingredient. Look, on these fat stains at 40 degrees, ordinary compacts can have problems, but new Ariel digests fat, leaving clothes ultra clean.
I hate to admit it, but Ariel's worked. The fat had no chance, even at 40 degrees.
New Ariel Ultra digests the fatty food stains ordinary compacts leave behind at 40 degrees.
Hey, Santa, have you heard about Lumpoly's January sale? There's up to £150 off per person.
£150 each? Get away.
Real sherry comes only from Spain.
It's a dead cert. The final double episode of Gone to the Dogs.
Jim Morley's dog's the one we got to beat.
A Christmas Friday showdown at 8 on Central.
A story of love and revenge. Anthony Hopkins in To Be the Best.
So you remain a mystery.
What you see is what you get, Mrs. O'Neill.
Got her. Oh, I've waited for this.
I don't think I've ever thanked anyone for saving my life.
It's all part of the service.
Oh, how I waited for it! A glittering cast in Barbara Taylor Bradford's bestseller. Don't miss the conclusion of To Be the Best, Christmas Friday drama at 10:20 on Central.